So the iPhone 11 was one of those iPhones that came out so many years ago, but it's so funny because every time I go and, pick this iPhone up still, I'm still actually pretty surprised about how good of a job Apple did with this iPhone so many years ago, and I'm still actually pretty shocked about how good of a job this iPhone still holds up in this day and age. Now, the first thing I'll definitely tell you is that for the most part, if you're going to go ahead and buy a new iPhone, you might want to go ahead and buy an iPhone that is still, maybe has a long future ahead of it. But even if you don't want to go ahead and do that, I still think if you own an iPhone 11 right now, you are still in very good hands, and this iPhone can still give you a really good experience, with a pretty stable, software longevity ahead of it, with pretty good performance, with a decent camera. Everything is pretty decent on this phone without you having to go ahead and spend a bunch of money. If you even need to buy this iPhone, I'd recommend it. Now, if you want to have an iPhone for like 5-6 years, this may not be the one for you, but probably for the average person out there, I think buying an iPhone like the iPhone 11 and keeping your iPhone 11 is a very good idea. For the most part, on the outside, the body of this thing still feels very expensive. Like, it is still a very good looking phone. It still feels very good and still feels very premium. The only issue I've ever really had with my iPhone 11 was that it was like one of the last iPhones with an IPS panel. But beyond that, this is still a very good looking device. It's still a very good looking display as well. And I'm a very big fan of this phone, like I mentioned before. So this in and of itself gets a thumbs up for me without a doubt. I also think that the camera side, on the back side, it's also a very good camera too. I mean, that dual camera setup, wide and ultra-wide camera, realistically speaking, from this iPhone to the iPhone 14, there were massive improvements and massive changes in the quality of the image, but it's always been funny to me the zooming in and zooming out was basically the same since the iPhone 11 to the iPhone 14. You're getting 0.5x zoom and then 5x zoom on the inside. I think it's perfectly fine if you're doing that type of zooming in and zooming out, but that was just something that was kind of funny to me a little bit at, that moment. Not the biggest deal in the world or anything, but that was kind of one small thing that kind of saw and noticed at that moment. But beyond that, I think the performance of this iPhone is still one of the more shocking things about it. Like, it is still a very good performing iPhone, and that has always been one of my favorite things going on for this particular device. It's a very fast iPhone with that A13 Bionic chip with 4GB of RAM, and I do think if you're going to go ahead and if you need an iPhone to basically handle everything you throw at it, this is a very good option. The big thing though is that for this particular device, you're basically going to be getting an iPhone that is, basically going to be able to handle everything you throw at it, from basic applications, even all the way up to like massive applications. You're probably going to be getting a pretty good experience from this type of device, which again is a very, very cool thing and a pretty important thing to have inside of a device like this. So what I can definitely tell you is, without a doubt, I love the iPhone 11, and I would probably still recommend you to keep it if you really want to. So that pretty much covers it up here. If you have any other thoughts or questions, please let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.